Hello everyone. To begin our presentation, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples of Australia. I am presenting from Bidjigal land in the Eora Nation. I acknowledge the elders past, present and emerging, that the land was never ceded and always was and always will be Aboriginal land. The Big Steps campaign supports the Uluru Statement from the Heart. My name is Kate. I'm an educator, United Workers Union member and Big Steps Union delegate. During this presentation, you'll be hearing from the Big Steps digital leadership team on how we have created a self-sustaining national educator-led digital community. During this presentation, we'll be talking you through why we thought it was important to create our digital community, how we created our digital community, what we have done and continue to do to maintain our digital community, and share some of our key findings and things that we've learned from throughout this process. We will also provide context to how our digital community has been a channel of support for educators during the COVID-19 pandemic. We'd like to preface this presentation by asserting that this work has been developed, written and presented by a team of early childhood educators and union members with the support of our union. We all work directly with children and as a group have a variety of educational backgrounds and experiences. This presentation is non-academic and is spoken from an educator perspective by educators. Maharuk, can you tell us a bit about the context and background for this presentation? Why did we think it was important to create an educator-led digital community?
Thanks, Kate. The early childhood education profession is unique, widespread, and diverse. Connecting educators, teachers, and other early childhood stakeholders together nationally and en masse can be challenging and near impossible. This is due to the nature of early education profession. There are a myriad of contributing factors that make forming and sustaining a national educator network such a challenge. Factors such as center sizes, the financial implications of engaging in national meetups and conferences, along with the location of work sites such as metro, regional, and remote centers, are three of the biggest barriers to creating a well-connected national early education community. These factors have been amplified during the COVID-19 pandemic, at a time where it has been vital for early childhood professionals to connect with each other to combat isolation. It has also been crucial for educators to have a reputable avenues to connect with relevant peak bodies in order to stay up to date with COVID-19 industrial and public policy information. To combat this problem, we actively made the decision to break down these barriers by establishing a monitored, educator-led digital community. While there are quite a few online early childhood education communities focusing on pedagogy and advocacy for children, we noticed a gap for educators to talk to educators about their wellness, their advocacy, and to be able to easily access industrial and sector information.
Thanks for that, Maharuk. So in a nutshell, our theory was that educators would flock to a digital community that prioritizes their needs as professionals and people. Therefore, our aim was to create a self-sustaining, engaging, and overall positive digital community for the early childhood profession. Pixie, over to you. How did we create our online space? What was our method and process for establishing our digital community?
Thanks, Kate. In 2018, a small group of educators and union members worked with our union to plan, develop and launch the Early Educators United digital community. This group is a national, online, educator-only Facebook community. As part of the planning process, we had to really think about the purpose and who our audience would be. While we're all union members and we run this group with the support of our union, we really wanted to open this community to all early childhood educators from all service types, from all corners of Australia. To us, it was important that we created a monitored space with equal access to avoid putting up more walls for educator interaction. The initial group goals of this community aim to embody the key tenets of the Early Years Learning Framework: belonging, being and becoming. We wanted to create a space that allowed people to be raw with their professional experiences, get the support they needed from a community of like-minded professionals, and be able to build their professional identity. We also aimed to build the confidence of educators in our community to become strong advocates for themselves and their workplaces. While new limbs may have been fashioned to our goals as the group has grown, belonging, being, and becoming remain the three pillars for our community. As an online administration team of educators, we made the decision that having strong monitoring processes will help the community flourish. These processes also ensure that we maintain constructive and professional discussion. Monitoring includes generating fun content or relevant conversation starters, posting anonymous questions, welcoming our members to the community, and identifying new educators who can be part of our digital leadership team. We currently have a leadership team of 25 committed educators who catch up on a monthly basis to talk through what's happening in our community and plan responsive content to make sure that our group supports what educators need. Our content is planned on a consistent basis, and we work with our union, key stakeholders, and with each other to build in weekly, fortnightly, and monthly content that informs our group members. The final process we employed to build a supportive community is individual outreach to educators and group members. We're always open to conversations and structure time to follow up one-to-one with those who really need us. Part of this outreach is scheduling in a few checkpoints for educators in need. For example, we do initial outreach, check in a week later, and touch base a month later. This process is flexible based on the individual needs of the educator we're engaging with. This process is significant as it provides an avenue for isolated educators who may not be able to get support but through our digital community. All of these processes have proved vital during the COVID-19 pandemic, and having these structures previously established allowed the digital leadership team to have the skill set to adapt to larger and more dynamic group of educators.
Thanks for that, Pixie. So knowing how we plan things and how we do things is crucial to understanding the impact and implications that our community can have on the early childhood profession. Claire, what are our key results and outcomes from this experience? What have we learned and how do educators feel about our community?
Thanks, Kate. Throughout this process, we have learned quite a lot about the nature of building, monitoring and sustaining digital communities. During a 2-year period, we have grown in a substantial and engaged community of over 7,500 educators. In an average month, approximately 90% of our community engages in our views group content on Early Educators United. It's also important to note that requests to join our group boomed in the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. As of the 16th of March this year, we had approximately 4,000 educators in the group. So our group has grown by 3,500 educators to date. The growth and engagement levels in our community highlight strongly that educators seek out digital spaces to build connections to their profession and with each other, particularly during times of crisis. We have also learnt a lot about the early childhood education profession. Educators who are part of our community report that they feel a stronger sense of belonging to their profession. They feel secure and confident to ask questions about their workplace rights, early childhood policy, framework and standards, that our group authentically and constructively supports educator-focused conversations, and overall that our community supports them to feel knowledgeable about the profession, as that educators can make informed decisions about engaging in advocacy. The process and tools that we use to engage members, for example, profiles, Facebook Lives, to achieve these outcomes and results are now considered standards for online communities and Facebook groups. We know of different early childhood groups who use similar tools to connect with their group memberships, and by no means profess that we are reinventing the wheel. What makes our community unique is our consistency and the commitment from a well-connected and well-supported digital leadership team to ensure that our educator-led community is genuinely educator-led?
Thanks for that, Claire. So to wrap up our presentation, there are some quick conclusions that we'd like to share with you all. Through this process, and in reflection on the past 2 years, we've been able to prove that educators have a need to feel connected with their profession. This is significantly heightened during times of crisis. Through this work and consistent engagement, we've been able to anecdotally demonstrate that educators will flock to communities that are educator-centric and feel validated when their voices are heard. Finally, this demonstrates that this is paramount that professionals in the early childhood sector have and continue to have genuine opportunities for educator-to-educator consultation and to be part of an early childhood education community. Thank you for tuning into our presentation, The Benefits of an Educator-Led Digital Community. We would like to thank the committee of the Early Childhood Voices 2020 conference for providing us with this opportunity to talk about our experiences in creating online community. Thank you to all our presenters for taking the time to be with us. If you have any other questions, please send an email to gwen.alcock@unitedworkers.org.au to get in touch with us, the Big Steps Digital Leadership Team.